Quick check today. It's only about a week since my last update when it was looking pretty grim. I see bees flying outside the entrance of this hive though, which is a great sign. Hopefully there's enough in there. I have feed with me today. Syrup. We'll see how it goes once I have my second colony ready to go. But my goal for today is just to take a look, kind of get things cleaned up after I look around, put things back together, get on pollen patties because we have some aspen opening up, but not much else. And hopefully that changes quickly, but I don't want these gals to not have the energy to start getting the queen into high gear. So, fingers crossed. I'll take off the winter covers, and then I have 2 other boxes that I need to get cleaned up because I have bees arriving in about a week. That delivery was supposed to be later this week. It got pushed out, which is a blessing. Hopefully more will be available for forage, and also it gives me more time to get stuff ready because things are still a mess right now. All right, I'm gonna suit up. Well, you can probably see behind me here, I have made a complete mess of the bee yard, but I have food on that colony, and turns out the box below them actually had a bunch of honey, as did my colony that died out. So I stole some frames of honey to feed back to this colony. I have put Pro Sweet on the top, kind of as a pick-me-up, and I put on a pollen patty, but they're bringing in pollen, which is very exciting. I also found a frame that had brand new comb and eggs. This colony is looking not super strong, but they might pull through. If I'm able to feed them and they get enough of their energy taken care of here so they can build back up, we might be in better shape in a couple weeks. This stuff over here, let's flip around. My dead colony. I have this apart so you can kind of see what my plan was, but this one was a 3-box hive, and then the little kind of honey supersized box was my insulation. That goes on the top of the hive in the winter, and then you can see my hive cover. The mice destroyed this, so I'll change out all the bedding. I don't need it now. It should be warm enough where the winter covers are off, and I've swapped out the quilts for food. Food's more important. But these I put on top of the hive, and underneath here I used some canvas. The mice ate this, which is a bummer, but it happens. This colony was probably dead back in December. It still had some frames that the honey wasn't touched, it's still capped. So that is better food for the bees than anything I can give them. They should eat what they made. So when I get that nuke in next week, I'm very excited to have some frames of honey to give them. I'll give them syrup also, just as insurance. See how they're taking that, and if they don't need it, I'll leave them with honey. But particularly with a new hive, or if you're light on stores, you gotta feed them, because if they don't have food, they're not gonna have energy to build up, and you need stuff to be building up right now. But let me do a quick little tour of some of these other boxes. Again, they are a mess right now. The bottom board I use is a screen bottom board, and this one has to be cleaned up because it was completely mouseified over the winter. But I'll get that scraped down and ready to go, cleaned up, and then I'll have some new boxes built and ready to go on top of this. So, all in all, not bad. The weather has turned around. I hope it stays that way. It looks like we should have overnight lows in the 40s Fahrenheit, which will help a ton because it means it'll warm up quicker. They won't be burning through as many of their very meager food stores. I rearranged the food so they can get to it better. So it'll just be a matter of if they can build up quickly enough to be a strong colony and put up honey this year or not. My next task with this overwintered hive is to take a look at mite treatments so that I can get that done during the month of May before we go into June, because mites have been the bane of my existence, varroa mites, and if they've overwintered, they've made it this far, I'd like to keep them doing well and having energy to gather nectar for honey. So again, that'll be my next task. bright out here so I can't see if I've got her or him. Now it's a girl. Big, huge fishing spider. This just crawled onto the lid since I popped this hive apart. Dear mining bee, that is not your species. So we have a mining bee who thinks this honeybee is his true love. It is not. This won't work, but well, happy spring. The bee yard is all cleaned up. The box on the right has my bees with some feed on the top. The middle box houses some empty frames and honey, and the box on the far left is where the nuke will go in about a week. Thanks for joining me, and I will talk to you later. Bye.